Welcome in, guys. I'm Pete Mundo, Heartland College Sports. It's great to have you here. Starting to feel a little bit better. And how about this? It turns out I had pneumonia all of last week. So I'm still getting over it, but it is pneumonia. It was not a sinus infection. It was x-rays confirming pneumonia. So it's kind of amazing I'm here based on what I've been through the last bunch of days. But you're here, I'm here. And let's talk college football. Let's talk Big 12. All I would like you to do is make sure that you like the video and also subscribe to the channel. I fought through pneumonia for the show. All you can do to help us out is subscribe here at Heartland College Sports. So I am glad that you are joining us because I wanted to make sure that I shared something with you that needed to be shared about the new College Football Playoff Committee rankings. The Big 12, and BYU in particular, is just getting so disrespected here. There was a graphic that was showed during the College Football Playoff Rankings show, and they profiled teams 9, 10, 11 in the rankings. You know who got left out? Take a wild guess who got left out. BYU. I mean, there was room for them. They had Alabama at number 9. They had Notre Dame. And they had Miami at number 12. But for some reason, there was not room, I guess, to put in a little something for BYU. Make it make sense. I can't. I don't understand it. But it's something that time and time again we've seen happen. And the Big 12, for whatever reason, just doesn't get that respect. And this was another prime example of it on Tuesday night. Now, I'll show this for you right here. You can see it right now, I believe, on the screen. And you're looking at it right here. Did you see this? This was it. This is the screenshot of what I was looking at. And I shared it on social media. And I said, you've got to be kidding me. That was it right there. And look, there's plenty of room for BYU to fit on that screen. And they didn't want to do it. Ask yourself why. It is anti-Big 12 bias. It is anti-BYU bias. And here's what this means. What this means is that basically it's not going to happen. BYU is not going to get in unless they just beat Texas Tech. That's what it's going to have to take. All right? They're going to have to beat Texas Tech to get into the college football playoff. It's as simple as that. So I don't love it, unfortunately, but it's the reality of the situation. They can't get in unless they go out there and they beat Texas Tech outright. That's the only way it's happening in the college football playoff for them coming into this game on Saturday. And I thought that BYU should be able to get in no matter what, but it's clear it's not going to happen. Even though when you compare the profiles, BYU has a strength of record of 6 that is better than Alabama, better than Notre Dame, better than Miami. They have a strength of schedule of 35 that is better than Notre Dame, that is better than Miami. They have an FPI, Football Power Index, of 15. That is not as good as Alabama, Notre Dame, or Miami, but that's the only category that they trail in. They are 2-1 against current top 25 teams. Notre Dame is 1-2. Miami is 1-0. Alabama's 2-1. They are right up there when it comes to resumes and profiles. And for whatever reason, well, we know the reason, but it just seems like they're not going to get the love. No matter how hard we spin it, no matter how hard we try to understand what exactly is going on here, it's not going to matter. It's not going to change. And that's too bad. But it's also a reality. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. So BYU has to win to get into the college football playoff. That's it. Now, the other thing to talk about here, though, is that the Big 12 did have Texas Tech move up to number 4. So I have mixed feelings on this. If Texas Tech wins on Saturday, it's very likely they will get a first-round bye there will be no playoff game in Lubbock. And that pains me because I kind of like the idea of a game day or of a game being played in Lubbock in the first round of the college football playoff. But at the same time, you'd be nuts, absolutely nuts, to not go ahead and just take the bye and get yourself right to the quarterfinals. But is it somewhat selfish of me to actually kind of want to see a Big 12 game or a Big 12 team host a college football playoff game, especially in a place like Lubbock with how this season has gone? Man, that would be electric. But with Texas A&M losing to Texas, that moved Texas Tech up a slot. And this may have happened anyway, because eventually a Big Ten team was going to lose, Ohio State, Indiana. An SEC team was going to lose in the SEC championship game. So it was always possible, if not likely, that Texas Tech, if it finished 12-1, was going to get a bye. But now it's becoming more of a reality, seeing them at number 4 and realizing, well, if they win, if they win, they're at least going to be the 4th-ranked team in the country when all is said and done, playing number 11. So I'm happy for them. It's probably the best for the Big 12 to automatically get to a quarterfinal, get the rest, have the downtime. But I also really wanted to see a college football playoff game being played in Lubbock. So these are champagne problems. If you're a Texas Tech fan, let's be honest, not going to be upset about it either way. But it is something to note based on how these rankings came out. Utah fell a couple of slots to number 15. Utah's, they're on the outside looking in. It's not going to happen for Utah. They're not getting to a playoff. They are a highly ranked, or I should say, the advanced analytics like them a lot as a 2-loss team. I think it's well-deserved, but they're not getting to a playoff, obviously. That's not happening anymore for the Utah Utes. No way, no how. Arizona quietly up 7 slots to number 18. A lot of respect for this Arizona team coming into these rankings this week, and it's well-deserved, man. This is a 9-3 team that no one's talking enough about. And then Houston, also 9-3, goes from unranked to number 21 in the country this week. So there's some more love than you might expect for this middle of the pack in the Big 12. Listen, obviously I'm a fan. I think it's something the Big 12 deserves. I think they're worthy of having it and having these 5 teams in the top 25. I didn't think we'd see Houston back in there after their win at Baylor on Saturday, but here we are. So good for the Houston Cougars, good for the Big 12 as well. Does it mean anything for the playoff picture when all is said and done come Sunday? No, it probably doesn't. But it does show some depth in this league that it doesn't get enough credit for. It has some obviously top-level talent in Texas Tech, BYU, and I would still put Utah into that conversation. But this middle of the pack, the second tier in the Big 12, is underratedly good and underappreciated around the country by, I believe, everybody in college football. And we've watched this, obviously, in real time as Big 12 fans, but now you're seeing it, and you're getting a look for what exactly the rest of the college football world thinks of this as well. So that's something right now that I'm looking at, and I'm saying to myself, from a Big 12 perspective, it's fine. It's good. We should be happy about it. That being said, it doesn't really mean anything when all is said and done coming up on Sunday. So that was a look at the playoff rankings for this week. I'm Pete Mundo on Heartland College Sports. Great to have you here. Thanks for joining us as a part of the show. I did want to note and just have this conversation as well. Tuesday of this week may have been a very defining, historic day for the Big 12. And what I mean by that is 2 things happen. Texas Tech re-signed Joe McGuire to a multi-year extension. He's going to make about $7 million a year when all is said and done. And BYU kept Kalani Sitake. These are enormous moves. These are moves that you cannot understate. And these are moves that could make these two programs the programs that end up breaking away in the Big 12. I'm not guaranteeing this, okay? If you're an Arizona fan, if you're an Arizona State fan, if you're an Iowa State fan, K-State fan, TCU fan, I'm not saying it's a done deal. Utah fan, please, I'm not. But we have said for years, the Big 12 does need a theoretical blue blood or two of its own to emerge. The question is, who's it going to be? And a couple of moves that happened this week, specifically on Tuesday, actually lead you to a place where you can make the case that maybe we found these teams. Now, not just because they're also playing in a Big 12 championship game coming up this week. That's not the only reason. In fact, that's really not what this conversation's about. What this conversation's about is about how Texas Tech has had this miraculous season, and now they've wrapped up their head coach. And if you think it's so easy to coach Texas Tech, hey, anyone could coach up Texas Tech with this roster. Well, look at some of the other top teams when it came to transfer portal rankings last year. You know who was on that list? LSU, North Carolina, Florida State, Colorado, just to name a few. How did they do this season? Oh, not all that well, huh? It's downplaying what Texas Tech did. It is downplaying what Joe McGuire and the staff did to say anybody could do what Tech did because of who they bought and who they spent the money on. And that's entirely unfair. And inherently untrue as well, I might add. It's not how it works. So Joey gets a big extension. Tech solidifies him. He is West Texas. He's a perfect fit. I don't see him going anywhere. And then BYU keeping Kalani Sitake. A huge deal. We all saw the rumors of Penn State making a run at Sitake. And it turns out he's not going there. But you know what? Penn State flirting with Kalani Sitake may actually end up making BYU a more dangerous college football program. Because if you saw the reports from On3 and others, part of the new deal, Sitake gets more money for his staff and another $10 to $15 million of NIL money on top of the revenue sharing. This is a huge win for BYU to recruit at the highest levels possible to compete not just for a Big 12 title, but potentially national championships. That's a move here for BYU, showing exactly what they're committing to on the football field. They've done it with big money on the basketball court. On the football side, they mostly have done it on the developmental angle, but now they're basically saying, we'll put our money where our mouth is also on the football field. And if that happens, with this staff staying in place, with this program continuing to balance that developmental with some big money available to them as well on top of the revenue sharing, which I know the revenue sharing was supposed to get rid of the NIL. You know what I know. Someone's going to have to put this cat back into the bag before it goes anywhere. The thing's a joke. There's going to be NIL money flying all over the place just like it used to. It's just going to be different pots. That conversation we'll save for another day. But Tuesday of this week, between the McGuire extension and Sitake staying at BYU, may have been a sign of what's to come in the Big 12. And the fact that these two coaches and these two programs are 110% bought in. The question is, who else is joining them? Is it the Sun Devils? Is it the Wildcats? Is it the Cyclones? The other Wildcats? The Horned Frogs? The Cowboys bouncing back? The Utes? The Mountaineers? I know every single fan base in the Big 12 is raising its hand right now saying it's us. And you should believe it's you, because this league is still wide open year in, year out. It is unpredictable year in, year out. But eventually there will be separation. The question is from who? By who? Who sets that tone? And who's going to join them? And that remains to be seen. I'm Pete Mundo. Heartland College Sports is where you find us. We cover the Big 12. We are so glad that you are here, as always, joining us as we talk everything Big 12 Conference. Thank you for being here. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And we will talk to you soon right here at heartlandcollegesports.com. Have a great day.